Well, right now, Marco Rubio, former senator, is continuing his tour of Latin America. He's on tour down there. This is his first international trip as the U.S. Secretary of State in the Trump administration. Rubio is visiting Guatemala now after he stopped in Panama, Costa Rica, and El Salvador.
And the former Florida senator actually making news while he's there. He says El Salvador's president is offering to not only jail deported criminals who came to the U.S. illegally, but he would also jail American citizens. Rubio was pressed on this move, which would house U.S. criminals in some of El Salvador's mega prisons, which are notoriously riddled with allegations of abuse.
That's an offer President Bukele made. Obviously, we'll have to study it on our end. There are obviously legalities involved. We have a constitution. We have all sorts of things. But it's a very generous offer. No one's ever made an offer like that. And to outsource at a fraction of the cost, at least some of the most dangerous and violent criminals that we have in the United States. But obviously, the administration will have to make a decision.
ABC's News State Department reporter Shannon Kingston joins us now from Guatemala City, where she's traveling alongside Secretary Rubio as he makes his tour through Latin America. So, Shannon, this agreement between the U.S. and El Salvador, how would it work? And shipping American citizens into a foreign prison, I cannot imagine that's legal. But what are they saying?
Yeah, Terry, officials have been very light on the details here. It's more of a concept of an agreement, if you will. But we do know that during a cozy, hours-long meeting with Secretary of State Rubio, the president of El Salvador, he made the offer that he'd be willing to take in not just these foreign gang members who are deported from the United States, but American citizens, legal residents. And as you correctly pointed out, Terry, this is going to face a lot of legal challenges going forward. And that's something Rubio acknowledged, but he didn't say that the Trump administration was dismissing it outright. In fact, he called it a sign of extraordinary friendship.
Yeah, but friendship, you know, there's the law and there's friendship. There's the Constitution, the law, and then there's friendship. We always know that President Trump likes to test the boundaries here, but has Rubio or El Salvador's president, you sort of touched on it there, gone into more detail about the kinds of criminals that would be sent to these mega prisons? You know, are we talking about murderers, white-collar criminals?
Well, it's a great question. Rubio has said that these would be the most dangerous, the most violent prisoners that are inside the U.S. system. But here's the thing, Kira, even the most dangerous criminals, they're still entitled to constitutional rights as American citizens. And the 8th Amendment protects against cruel and unusual punishment. And that's why basically every legal expert is saying that this is going to be an impossible plan to legally put into place.
Yeah, and Shannon, you were with Secretary Rubio in Panama, I believe. So he went to Panama. President Trump has made clear he wants to take the Panama Canal back from Panama. He's talks about Chinese influence. How did those talks go between Secretary Rubio and the president of Panama?
That was the first stop on our trip. We're now on country number 3, I believe. It's been a packed, very newsy couple of days. But Panama was a win for Secretary Rubio because he was able to go in, meet with Panama's president, and the State Department says he put pressure on the government to divest from China. They were able to come to an agreement to end an important investment relationship on infrastructure with Beijing. But it does appear at this hour that it's not enough to settle President Trump's concerns about China's influence over the Panama Canal. So I think Rubio is still going to have some work left to do at the end of this trip, Terry.
Sounds like it. Shannon Kingston. So what a great trip. Thanks very much.